Hello, this is Peter's Principals, and today we have Headmaster Brian Martin, we're going to talk about quite a few things at the high school, happening at the high school, but the thing that I'm most interested in at this point, being a big backer of downtown businesses, is the fact that the high school opened a business downtown and is selling shirts. I bought one for the show. And Brian, how did that come about? And I understand that we are the only high school in the country that has a downtown.
Well, I wasn't aware we were the only high school, but we're probably one of the few, if there are. And thank you for having me on, first of all. I appreciate it. And any time there's an opportunity to share out what's happening at the Lowell High School, it's a joy. Lowell High School is the second largest comprehensive high school in Massachusetts. I believe Brockton High School is the largest. And with that comprehensive school comes the task of looking at your school population and determining a variety of pathways for students to pursue. And students would come to the school and be interested in the sciences or engineering or civic engagement. And one of our pathways is the business pathway. And in our business department, we have a number of courses that are developed for a student population interested in marketing, business law, and retail. And we do have a store within the high school that has typically just been open during lunchtime for students.
Right.
And this concept came from the result of looking at the fact that the public has limited access to public schools because of security and in the time of day that people could shop. And we developed this plan with the connection to a education that would help students understand how a business actually runs. And we have engaged the students at this time. Now they're all getting ready to apply for the positions in management of the store. And we think it's exciting that our students will learn, what's a CEO's responsibility? What would the sales director be responsible for? How about a marketing position, or inventory control, or website management, and things to that nature. And so when we talked about this as a school with the staff, we thought, what better way than to be in the central business district. So students would engage customers, be part of the display, be part of the sales team, and through the successful negotiations with the school department and the owner of the Bon Marché building, Mr. Baracus and Mr. Saris, Superintendent Franco worked it out so we have some designated window space where we set up our store. And it's been enormously successful, and the kids love it. I think the public loves it. And what a great way for students to get hands-on experience on how to actually manage a business.
Well, I'm excited about it because the university had the store downtown and vacated it,
Right.
and went up to I can't even remember what they call it now.
Okay. Yep.
The building up by up by the bridge.
Yep.
And I just am excited that we have a school that's opened a store. I'd like to see more schools open stores downtown. That would be nice if Middlesex College would open a store downtown and sell their stuff too. I am very interested in stores downtown and bringing people down to the business district, because they want to buy something, and this is a perfect way to do it.
Sure. What it does is it gives our school a more public face, so that the families that would shop in the store get to engage with our students. We never have the store open without adults that are trained to manage the site. But the opportunity for our school simply opens doors that you wouldn't have thought of prior to having the space. A lot of folks don't really connect a business program to a comprehensive high school because typically students would go to the vocational school, Greater Lowell Tech, for example. But everyone doesn't go there. Everyone doesn't get in there. And we still have a number of students who are very interested in this potential career path. And this creates an opportunity for them to really dig a little deeper into the business management piece that may help them going forward in their career, so that at the end of a cycle of a semester or two, students would have certificates for school business management. They would have a certificate, for example, if you are responsible for inventory control or web design and web management. What a great credential for a student to leave the high school with a diploma in, for example, a inventory control position
expertise,
for a store.
right.
It helps them go on, and perhaps even if they go to college, they could work in their school store or could work in a retail site while they're going to school and enhance their opportunities.
I just think that the idea of having a downtown store for kids is a fantastic idea. And I remember running into you and Mrs. Howe on the street when you were first negotiating on it, and you two were very excited about it.
Yeah. Roxanne Howe is Dr. Howe is the chairman of the business department, and she's engaged and totally involved with the operation of the store. So she's done a great job, and our teachers are involved, and the students are what we hear about all the time from families that go to the store. All these students are terrific. You know, they're very supportive of the customers and kind and great kids, and I think it says a lot about the high school. So, we're very pleased with it. It's the first 5 months that we've had the store open, and we're going to learn how to be better at what we do, and again, help drive people to the central business district, which is what the city manager and the mayor and the council are trying to do right now. So we feel like we're part of something special going on.
But I feel like you are too. I think that it's a wonderful use of the talent that you have at the school. And it made me think of something that I wanted to ask you about, and that is how are the academies doing?
What we have now is we have pathways at the high school that are kind of the next generation of academies. I wouldn't want to confuse it with folks that are watching with the Freshman Academy. The Freshman Academy is the old trade school facility, magnet school facility that houses all of the freshmen at Lowell High School, so that we can bring them together so they get to know each other and then transition to the 10th, 11th, 12th grades in the larger school. So that's a Freshman Academy for 9th graders. But the academic academies are now broken into career paths, so that there are pathways, for example, in business, where you would take your courses in business, which are marketing, business law, retail, and then you would do either an internship or a capstone project as a senior that becomes part of your portfolio to go on and apply to schools. And part of it could be managing the store, part of it could be doing marketing events at the school when you are at the end of your class. But what we also have pathways in engineering, we have pathways in fine arts, we have pathways in bioscience, in engineering, and so we have a program now at the high school that we've established, which is called Naviance. Naviance is a software package that we purchased at the high school, and have every student that is at Lowell High go online, create their own Naviance site. And Naviance is a software package that allows students to do surveys, develop their interest in what they'd like to do someday. So students go online, they can watch videos, they can start to identify potential jobs that they'd be interested in, and then those jobs would drive students to the particular pathways and courses that they then would sign up in their guidance office and go forward. This is a first for Lowell High School, and it's been very, very well received. So students are constantly on their Navient site. They upload their projects. They upload video if they're in the TV and media site, and they also apply to college through Navient, so that now we know where every single student at the high school applies to school. We know where every single student gets accepted, and we know where every single student attends. So we now have data on all of our students. We know what pathway they're in. They know the schools that have those opportunities to major in a particular field, and we can start to follow our students and really help them along the way. So the Navient program is instantly distributed in all of the freshman classes. So all the freshmen come in and they start doing surveys, and as students go through the school, they're constantly reviewing what do they want to do someday. And we've raised children, you've raised children, I've raised children, families that are watching this show probably have children in the schools. And what you ask your kids forever is, what's your plan?
Right.
What do you want to do someday? Do you have any idea? And so what we try to do at the high school is open the doors to thinking about what they might do. No one knows what they'll do. I'm on my 9th job. Okay? And so what are students going to do in an international economy? They're probably going to change jobs 8 or 10 times. So there's no real single career path for the most part for anyone. You're going to bounce around and constantly be a lifelong learner. But having a pathway with a plan at least gets students to think about what they want to do. And typically their plans don't vary that much, but they have one. And this provides that opportunity. The other thing that's exciting at the high school right now is that we received a life science grant from Massachusetts Life Science through the state that has created a makerspace for hands-on science experiments in the freshman academy. So now all freshmen will go through 6 weeks of a hands-on makerspace science program that will have 3D printers, lasers for developing certain products, and experimenting and thinking and using their hands and working with our science teachers to start to think about, do I want to go into the science pathway, and am I interested in a particular science? So it's a really exciting program that will be starting in the next couple of weeks.
I am impressed. I wanted to ask you, is the Advance program usable on their home computer? Or?
Yes, it is.
It is.
You log in, everyone has the password, parents can log in.
Parents can
work with their son or daughter on different things. My vision, quite frankly, is to have a Navient system for Lowell High School that has a connection to all of the colleges around the country and the world where Lowell High School graduates have attended. Have video of all of the career pathways of Lowell High School alumni. So someone could click on and say, I'm interested in law, and have 10 lawyers from different age groups from Lowell High School talk about their career path and how they got into it and how they didn't. So go through all of the different career paths and link them to high school folks.
So it's your Facebook of...
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
The high school, I think, is one of the most exciting places in the downtown.
Sure.
I like to go in and visit just to see what's going on.
Yeah,
And
well,
as you know, I've been there a couple times.
Yeah.
I am very pleased to be an alumnus of Lowell High School, and I'm very proud of that.
I'm not going to ask you what year. You don't have to tell me what year.
Yeah, it was 1972. It was a while back.
Yeah.
But I went on to get my bachelor's and master's degrees, and it just prepared me for college.
Right. Yeah.
And that was a wonderful thing. And I basically aced college the first year I was there anyway. And I think that had something to do with Lowell High
You were
School.
well prepared.
I was well
It's
prepared.
interesting. We just had a roundtable with 10 of our graduates who had graduated in either 2012, 13, or 14. So not graduates from this past June, but students that have already attended college for 1, 2, or 3 years. And we had a great discussion at the Enterprise Bank community room, and we set up a luncheon for them. And we asked them to come back and talk about their takeaways from the high school as they were going off to college or had experienced their college years. And what they all said was they were totally prepared academically.
That's what I would say too.
Totally prepared. They didn't miss a beat. Some thought college was easy. But what we did hear was that the fact they came from a school that was diverse, that was large, that had staff that cared about them, was the most important takeaway they came from the high school. They were prepared to walk onto a campus and not be intimidated by the size or the demographics. And that's a huge experience for students to take with them leaving the school. You can't teach diversity in a book. At the high school, you live it every day. And
Right.
we have 63 or 4 countries represented there. So they talked about that. And then they also talked about the fact that what teachers say to students, good and bad, has the most impact on them going forward. So they reinforced the fact that teachers that were positive and supportive and nurturing and encouraging really played a vital role in their success going forward. And that's what we are preaching every day at the high school. And I think if you were to walk through the school and see our kids, you'd see that that does happen. You get a very supportive staff, encouraging kids, supporting them. Kids make mistakes. You have to let them make mistakes.
Right.
But keep working with them to keep growing and maturing so they can go on and be successful in their next part of their life. So I don't know how much time we have, but I'd love to talk about the high school, the new building.
I'd love to talk about that. I would like to see the new building built on the Merrimack Mills property. I would like to see it look like somewhat like a mill. It takes the Merrimack Mills spot and looks a little bit like the Merrimack Mills. I think that would be great. The beauty of it is that it's not that expensive. It's probably the least expensive option.
Yeah, in comparison to a whole new site,
Right.
that would appear. At this point, we're really thankful that the city manager and the city council supported the bonding to do the feasibility study
Right.
for the high school, and that was voted unanimously by the council in August, and that starts the process of bringing the architects in to start to look at the strengths and weaknesses of the existing structure at the high school, and recommends going forward whether to either remain at that site or to consider identifying another site in the city to go forward. We have, so we're really ecstatic that we're in the queue here, and we're
Right.
going forward in a way that would allow Lowell High School to be approved by the state school building authority if and when that decision is made. So we're on time and actually ahead of schedule. The piece that's important to me is that we're a community just like we were 100 years ago, where students are living in neighborhoods that are walkable to the high school.
Right.
And so right now, if we've surveyed last year, we will survey again this fall with every student on how many students walk, take a bus, or get a ride. And in the last 2 years, we found that a third of our students, over a third, actually walk to school.
I'm not surprised.
So if you were to, hover over the high school in the morning at from 6:30 to 7:30, and just watch the movement of the community, you would see students walking across the Bridge Street Bridge, the Textile Bridge, and coming from Lower Belvedere, the Acre, the Lower Highlands, and all feeding into the downtown core.
Right.
Well, that's how it was 100 years ago. That hasn't really changed. What's probably changed a little bit more is the number of families that maybe can drive a student or public transportation. But there's still, I would say, a majority of our students walk to school. And to me, that's an equity issue. It's fair to keep it centrally located. And I think in a time when we look at our community demographics, and want to continue to level the playing field for all of our families, then the downtown location makes the most sense. It's fair. And a lot of low-income families don't have a car or don't have an adult that can drive kids to school.
Right.
So walking is a key piece. The second piece is just the history of the downtown location and its connection to your other partners. I mean, we're obviously 100 yards away from the Pollard Library, okay, next to City Hall. If you were to go to the Pollard Library after school, you've got a large number of students that access the library.
Right, that's right.
If you look at our partners with Middlesex Community College and the university, we're connected with those schools with dual enrollment, with mentoring programs, and just literally dozens of connections for our school. So we've got great synergies with our community. The Girls Club is close. We have kids at the Girls Club, the Boys Club, all of that stuff. So we do have a lot of opportunity for our students. And I think that, as the study is completed, I'm hoping that those numbers and those strengths will outweigh the consideration to move the school out of downtown. And I do know it will be less to reconstruct the school and use the sites that we have or contiguous sites than it would be to build a brand new facility. So we just have to let it run its course, and we're really pleased that the council so far is supporting us to continue this going forward.
I'm very excited about the idea of the high school building a downtown. I believe that a Belvedere location would increase the busing, which would be expensive, and cause us to have to bus students to the new school, and we don't have that problem now. Right. As you said, a third of the students walk to school. Right. And I used to bicycle to school when I was teaching there. Yeah. So it wasn't very far away.
Yeah, I mean, there is a little bit of a historical perspective to think about the stadium in the context of athletics. That 30, 40, 50 years ago, students would go out to the stadium to play football or cross country or things like that. And in the spring they'd play baseball. I did, or go to Shed Park for tennis. But we're now a high school that has 31 sports. We have skiing.
I didn't know that.
We go to Westford for skiing in the winter. We have crew. In the fall, there's 100 students get on a bus and go to the river. In the spring, 100 students get on a bus and go to the river. So if you were at the stadium, you have to go all the way across the city to get to the river.
Right.
Right. So if you really start to look at what do we offer, a lot of our sports are in the school, so there isn't any busing. But a lot of them are going one way or another. Everyone doesn't go to the stadium anymore.
Right.
To even think about moving there because of the athletics is really probably going to disrupt more than it would help right now because of the way things work. So, we're like actually a small community college, and I say that our students are every bit deserving of being downtown like Middlesex Community College, UMass Lowell students. Certainly, you got some younger kids, but our students are terrific. They deserve to be part of the good things happening in the city, and I'm hoping as it goes that that's the selection.
Well, I'm well aware of the fact that there is the University of Lowell, University of Mass Lowell in one spot, and just a few blocks away at Middlesex Community College, and then in the middle it's the high school, and I just think that's a tremendous learning opportunity.
Sure is, yeah.
For the kids, and I understand. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but I understand that a lot of kids go to Middlesex Community College for courses now
That's correct.
that are counted as part of their high school.
They do. We do have dual enrollment with Middlesex. Not all of the students would walk to Middlesex, but staff and faculty from Middlesex partner with the high school. And I think that if you are a community that thinks that education is the primary selling point for livability, which I believe it is, the notion of a K to PhD and you can walk is pretty special.
That is special, yeah.
And I think not many communities in the United States can say that. But to do that, your K to 12 system has to be outstanding. And so with that, the flagship of that system is the high school. And so I think we really need to think about in context of the big picture for the city and how we would fit. We fit actually right in the middle of it all. And so I'm hoping that that's how our city leaders will go.
I think that Lowell High School is very well suited for preparing you for college. It certainly prepared me.
It sure is. I mean, and one of the things that I talk about in front of parent groups and some business groups that I have an opportunity to speak at is that if you think that you pay taxes if you live in Lowell as a homeowner, or you rent here, you're part of the community, and that your son or daughter could attend Lowell High School for free. There are no user fees. There are no fees for anything. And then as a junior and senior, you're enrolled in dual enrollment classes and advanced placement classes that can give you credits towards college.
Right.
And so in many cases, we have students leaving the high school with one full semester of college that's already behind them, already paid for, in essence, through your coursework. So if you're going to go to a private school and spend $10,000, $12,000, $14,000 a year, you're at $50,000 for high school, and you don't have the same opportunity as our students for dual enrollment. And half of a semester at any school, either a UMass or a private school, is $15,000, maybe $20,000.
Right.
So you could leave Lowell High School, in essence, with $70,000 in equity that you've saved going forward.
Right, my daughter got the Abigail Adams Scholarship,
Right.
and as you know, that's the one that goes out to
Sure.
a lot of kids,
Yeah.
a lot of students, and they have to maintain a certain grade point average when they get to college, but they
That's
get
right.
tuition free,
Sure.
and that is a Lowell only thing, right?
Yeah, well, no, that's across the state for the Adams Scholarship. But at the end of the day, you have opportunity that you don't have in other schools, and I think it adds value to that public high school experience. And we're very proud of that. Every year, most of the students have at least 6 or 9 college credits that go through the AP classes and dual enrollment classes, which is really exciting. And if you're a family, saving for college and you got more than one child, I mean, those are huge expenses going forward. So, a semester of college is
great.
worth a lot of money to families, and thinking students have to even continue to go on after an undergraduate degree. So we're very excited about that, and we have a lot of families take advantage of it.
A lot of families do, yeah. Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
I'm really pleased, and anyone that wants to come to the high school can certainly call the office. We give tours with our student leaders, and we'd be happy to take folks around anytime they want. And the alumni do come down often and have tours, particularly with their reunion committees. But our doors are open. We love to have folks come and see what we have to offer. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
All right,
Brian.
thank you,
Okay.
Jack. Good to see you.
Good to see you.